Hi, I am Caro. Thank you so much for joining me today and for spending a little bit of crafty time with me. We will be looking at another way to add texture to your cards. I hope you'll enjoy. What you need is a piece of cheesecloth. Starting out, and I'm just pulling this cheesecloth in all directions in order to get the mesh to be more irregular. So then I continue to do that. It appears as though I have some holes in here, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Then I'm going to use shimmer relief paste. This one here, it's called Enchanted Gold. And underneath my cheesecloth, I actually have an A2 sized panel of watercolor paper, because I want to use the cheesecloth as well as the paper. And then for my next step, I'm also using a palette knife, but you can also use a small spatula, or I think even an old brush would work. And then I'm taking this and I'm spreading it over my cheesecloth. And I'm not spreading it over the entire breadth and also not over the entire length. I want to keep some of my watercolor paper white or untouched by the paste, and I also want to have some space left on my cheesecloth where I can actually touch it and put it aside for drying. If you have the opportunity to hang it up, that is a good way to view what it looks like now. And I leave this to dry. When it's dry, it is no longer as flimsy as the cloth was. It gets a little more rigid. Now, shimmer relief paste is by no means the only thing you can use for this. I also want to show you a close-up of my watercolor paper. So in a way, it is as if we have used the cheesecloth as a stencil. As I was saying, shimmer relief isn't the only thing you can use for this. You can use any kind of medium that hardens with time. Transparent gel with the sparkles. You can use the transparent gel that Altenew offers. You can use something in transparent. You can use stickles. You can use a combination of these things. And I want to show you a few examples. The glitter relief paste in silver. This makes it a little bit easier to see, right, that it is silver. Then here I have a small piece that was treated with a transparent gel, and then it was colored and a few sparkles were added. This one here was colored with watercolor after it was treated with a transparent gel. And then I also wanted to show you this one here. So you can see that I used shimmer relief paste in pearl, but I used it to actually glue this cheesecloth onto paper that was already watercolored in blue. And you can die cut from this. And I'm going to share a card with you that I made where I used a piece from this. You can see that a piece was cut off here. A piece from this to cut out some clouds actually. So here is that card. And it might not be so easy to see on video, but especially here in the little ones and in the one over here, you can see a little bit of that texture from the cheesecloth. On my hot air balloon, I actually used the kind of paper that we created yesterday. Here is another example of how you can use this cheesecloth. As you can see, I actually used the watercolor paper that I had used to get the silver sparkly paste onto the cheesecloth. You can see that here. Similar to the paper that we created just now in gold. And then I put a cheesecloth in gold over it, almost identical to the one that we just created just now, that is in the drying stages at this point. And I added a few die-cut butterflies to this and a sentiment. So you can say this, this is a mixed media approach that still creates some fairly clean cards. And I have one additional example for you. This one is a floral. And here I used some lilac and purple cheesecloth. It was created with transparent paste and then it was watercolored in these two different shades of purple. And I added two flowers to it, layering flowers, both from Altenew. This one is the one that we actually created together yesterday with our special paper. The leaves also make use of that kind of paper, and this is simply a yellow daisy type of flower. I added it all to some white cardstock, added a small sentiment here, and that is all it takes to add texture to your cards. So that's it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for spending this crafty time with me. And I have another question for you for an entry into the scavenger hunt gift card draw. And my question for you is this: have you ever used cheesecloth in your card making? If so, in what way did you use it? If not, are you tempted to try this? I hope you are, and I hope that you will share the result with me in our Altenew Facebook group. Thanks again, have a wonderful Sunday, and I hope to see you in the Facebook group. Bye!